welcome you to Murder Schmurder. It's a beautiful early. I cannot stress how early it is because I hate this, but it is an early Sunday morning during Black History Month. We're here to take you to church. Not just any church, but bird church.
Welcome, my flock, to your bird cage. We're gonna be learning the word of the beak.
Speak on it, Austin. Brother Austin, let the Lord flow through you.
This is Reverend Flo Mingo. And I invite all of y'all to look into that little bird cage in your heart. Open it up. Let yourself fly.
Beaks be with you, baby.
Squawk, squawk, baby. You know what he's talking about? That weird little, like, metal trap kind of you got a little hinge thing. It's maybe kind of hard to get it open at first.
Might have to oil it.
You kind of have to get at it with your little talons and that little beak. You know, kind of twist that baby around. But once you get it, you spread them wings high and far. And you let the spirit of the updraft take you high into the sky.
Spiritual updraft.
Now, I believe it's time for communion. Everybody, single file line to the bird feeder and make sure that you dunk your head in the bath for just a little sprinkle of water.
Open your beaks up. Let that seed within you.
Yeah.
Can we just do this for 2 hours?
No, I'm about to shut this down real fast.
I'm loving it.
Gentle bird sway.
And don't worry, the summer won't last too long, cause you know it's also Super Bowl Sunday. And we got the birds playing the Chiefs. And we all hate the Chiefs cause they cheated everything. So go birds!
Nice.
Sometimes in life, a bird will just shit on your car, but that's not just any bird.
You deserved it!
That's just how life slices it sometimes.
Maybe you should look within yourself.
But you gotta get back out there. You gotta get back up.
Figure out what you did.
You gotta ask yourself, are you the car or are you the bird?
Caw-caw! Caw-caw! Bird! Caw-caw!
Squawk be with you.
And beaks with you.
Amen.
Amen.
Man. Caw man.
A calm
man.
Very good, everyone. Which actually, taking communion is a perfect segue for my sucks or fucks.
Hey! You thought you had 1 bits today? We got 2 bits today. You know why? Because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl.
And for real, someone who doesn't care that much about football, fuck the Chiefs.
Yes,
Tired
right.
of hearing about them.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
All my friends are mad at him.
All my friends hate them, so I hate them.
So I was in one of those kind of sketchier gas stations, and I found Jailbreaker brand's potato chips.
Jailbreaker.
Give me that bag right now. Give me this.
It's
Cell
black and
Boss
white.
Blend.
Look at it.
That's the flavor. Cell Boss.
Cell Boss
Cell Boss
Yeah, yeah.
blend?
I wanted to read it to you.
Dude, whoever owns this company was in jail when he thought of this.
Yeah.
What if this but chips?
So,
Did you see all the flavors?
Once I
flavor's
get
so
out of
good.
here, I'm going to be a millionaire.
It's the only one on here. Flavor's so good, it should be illegal. When bland, regular, thin chips won't do, make a run for it and grab a bag of Jailbreaker brand's Cell Boss blend.
Should we be doing this during Black History Month?
I mean, seems fitting.
Jesus Christ.
And then my favorite, somewhere on here, it's, at the bottom of the ingredients, it says allergens none. Allergy warning immediately under that. This product's manufactured with equipment that processes products containing dairy, wheat, soy, and sesame. And then underneath it, there's a California warning that says consuming this product can expose you to chemicals.
Okay.
Oh my God, RFK just flipped over in his bed.
So
I'll get rid of that.
I honestly have
What do you mean there's chemicals in your chips?
Okay, hang
no
on.
clue what this flavor is.
I will
by the
say,
way.
I invite you men to a new competition I have started. Yesterday, our shift goal that I created was
It's kind of a vinegary.
It is a vinegar smell, but call me a jailbird because I want a little chip.
Ew. The goal of the ship
might be
was
awesome, I don't
to
know.
you have to wish a happy Black History Month to as many Black people as you can.
How's that going?
My
Are you in
bar-
the lead?
We only have 3 people playing right now, but now we have 6 because the 3 of you are now invited.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm at 2 for the month, but
Okay.
my bar manager beat me yesterday. He got 3. So
Oh, nice. All right, well, crunch, everybody.
all right.
Oh, cool. A barbecue chip.
Yeah.
It is just barbecue.
Oh.
It's barbecue with like a little more vinegar than a regular barbecue.
I wouldn't even say that.
You know, I gotta tell you, this is terrible with coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
It's all right.
Now to wash this down with more coffee.
Okay, it's got a little spice on the back
Yeah,
end.
there is actually.
Yeah, there's
heat
like
to
a
it.
lingerer.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Lingering on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me another chip. I'm kind of
Yeah, of
addicted
course.
to this whole coffee barbecue chip flavor.
A linger, but it doesn't taste like cranberries. Nothing? Okay. All right. That's okay.
No.
It wasn't good.
Flavor's so good it should be illegal. I can't remember if you already referenced that, but that is funny.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I like the bag.
yeah, whatever chemicals they're using, keep it up.
I like the dude with the crowbar on the bag.
I gotta say, like,
See, that's the issue. You can't let an inmate have a crowbar and be able to get out
right
yeah.
and then beat the guards with it.
as we
Let them have a crowbar.
as we found out with that whole
Well, actually, no. Let's give them
Alcatraz.
a crowbar.
Alcatraz episode, don't give your inmates tools.
Yeah. And if you
Right.
blow them, they probably still won't give you their gun. Probably.
That's a throwback to all you newbies. You got to look up that Alcatraz episode. It was a fun one.
That was a fun one.
Okay, so I've got my answer. All right. And I'm going to say it sucks because I thought it was going to be something different than a barbecue chip. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, the flavor lingers, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
I like that there's that kind of like
tail
long
end spice.
that long heat
Yeah.
at the end. That's kind of cool, but I was expecting more. So for that reason, I say it sucks.
I agree with Austin. The problem with the sucks or fucks is that if it's just okay, it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a yes or no kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but these chips definitely don't fuck. You could get this is sort of a Ruffles texture,
Yeah.
but like also they just kind of fall apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They look a lot crunchier than they are. So
Yeah,
I'm
they
gonna
kind of
say-
disintegrate.
Yeah, they kind of disintegrate, and it's like caught in my molars right now.
Yes.
And I really don't want to drink coffee until I can pick this shit out. So I'm gonna say this sucks.
Yeah.
I like the bag though. I like the guy with the
The
crowbar.
bag, yeah, I will say the
Good marketing,
The marketing
yeah.
is
I mean,
perfect.
it
Yeah.
grabbed me. I spent, what, $3 on these fuckers?
Yeah.
$2.50.
I don't think you wasted your money.
I don't either. I'm
No.
going to eat the bag, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what?
Birth defects and all.
Everything,
Yeah, I don't like the second California specific warning.
right.
I know.
everything that Joseph said about the chip, I agree, but it makes me like it.
What is that?
From the fact
Acrylamide?
that it's like stuck in my teeth and I'm drinking coffee. I'm kind of enjoying that flavor now.
Acrylamide.
You're very
Acrylamide.
strange.
Acrylamide,
Acrylamide.
acrylamide.
I like the spice. I
Well,
like the
anyways,
vinegar. I
apparently
like the sweetness
It
in
could have
it.
exposed us to that.
I'm loving the marketing. This fucks, dude. This is
You say fucks?
This is like the cell boss, like took the rookie that just came in, and he's fucking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are all valid points.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to say it's a non-consensual fuck.
If that's what you want to think, sure.
If you'd like to characterize it as such.
Do you think it fucks?
We all just said it sucked.
Grant, did you say it sucks?
Grant?
I'm honestly leaning towards sucks just because of Austin and Joseph's, because you only have A or B,
Right.
and it doesn't quite hit.
It
fuck.
doesn't fuck.
It doesn't hit fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
For me.
It
Yeah.
doesn't hit there.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying they're bad. Right?
No.
They're. I mean, it's a solid chip. If somebody were to put these in front of me and like, hey, these are the chips that we have for the night, I wouldn't be upset.
I'd eat the hell out of those. Yeah.
What about a third category where it doesn't quite fuck, but it doesn't necessarily suck? It jerks.
I'm thinking
Because this
dry.
thing jerks itself.
Like a dry. Well,
a dry jerk?
it's like a dry hump.
So it's like
So
the,
dry.
Oh,
it's like the hand
like
job
an over
of-
the pants.
chips
Over the
Yeah.
pants kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
fondle.
Yeah, like a little
over the pants handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily like to completion though, because that would still kind of fuck if you know what I mean.
That's a good point.
Because you still get to come.
I would say like they just kind of like You just kind of got groped a little bit.
This gropes.
Just gropes.
Oh, these chips blue ball me.
Yeah. I feel very blue balled by these chips.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you almost had me.
Yeah. I cannot. What Joseph and Austin said about it getting stuck in your teeth,
Yeah.
they're not kidding. It really, whatever
kinda
chemical
nuts.
they're using makes it so it's like borderline indestructible in between your teeth.
They're really gummy.
It's
I would
the
almost
Pringles
say.
effect.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's
this
how
is
they
probably
get
like
you.
liquefied potatoes that they pressed
yeah.
into the shape of the crinkle cut chip.
It's kind of like those. My mom always made those scallop potatoes from the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah.
like that kind of like residual texture almost.
Which is that scallioned potatoes?
I thought it was scalloped. I could be
You're
wrong.
probably right.
Scalloped potatoes.
That's right. I'm also retarded.
Legally, I am retarded.
I've been retarded this whole time, Cap.
It's my secret. All right. Well,
Should we start this?
and that was Fucks or Sucks.
Yeah, we all got blue balls.
Brought to you.
I know. I busted.
Brought to you by.
Jamie did bust.
Brought to you by Corsair Distillery.
Oh yeah, let's hear a word from our
Let's hear a little word
sponsors.
from our
Let's hear a little bit
sponsor.
from
All right.
Corsair.
Which one are we gonna do today? I think we should talk about that vanilla bean vodka. So the vanilla bean vodka. Actually, you know what? We'll talk about two today. We're gonna go vanilla bean vodka and the Corsair Dark Rye, because they're both going to be featured at one of our favorite bars in this town tonight.
Oh, shit.
Broadway Brew House
You know what they say about the vanilla bean vodka? It makes you flick your bean
with vodka.
with vodka.
Ow.
No, the vanilla bean vodka has 2 ingredients. It's ultra pure vodka and hand cut Madagascan vanilla beans. We let it macerate for 3 months, put it straight into the bottle. There's no added sugar. There's no artificial flavor. That means if you are worried about calories and stuff like that, they're very minimum. I would say there's probably like 30 calories in that vodka. Throw in a little bit of Diet Coke. It's like guilt-free drinking. Diet Coke turns into a vanilla Coke. Throw a little cherry on top. Call it a day.
Would you say it's like calories or whatever?
Yeah.
No, just the way you worded it, like calories or whatever the fuck you care about.
I mean, do I look like I count my calories, bud?
But
Say yes, because I have been.
listeners, I know you can't tell it, but Austin has been filling out those shirts, dude. My goodness, those shoulders, like, it looks like he could fucking carry a donkey on each arm, man.
I might be going through some things.
And he's compensating by getting ripped.
That's right. Glow up, baby. Right. I was going to say, I've been hitting the gym, not the bar.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
But that
But
being,
if you are hitting the bar,
that being said, you should absolutely pick yourself up a bottle of vanilla bean vodka at your local liquor store, or even some dark rye, which is a chocolate malted rye. We roast the like 3% of the barley, which is going to give you this really nice, distinct cocoa tobacco kind of flavor. Makes a perfect old fashioned Manhattan. 2 great whiskeys. 2 great liquors. Pick them at your fucking liquor store. If you see them at the bar, drink it. That's our message from Corsair. If you see it at the fucking bar, drink it.
Corsair! Sorry, I get this feeling I have to drink Corsair for some
Yeah.
reason.
If you're not drinking Corsair, you're incorrect.
what was that? Wow. That was an on the edge.
What just happened to you?
Is it okay?
Jamie, a lot. Is
Is it okay if I give a little shout out to some other
Yes.
friendly Nashville people?
Absolutely.
So, people, I don't know if you're too busy drinking, you're too busy laughing, but you think maybe you need a little friend in your life, you know? Maybe a little cat, little dog, you know? Maybe a turtle. I don't know if they do that, but let's just say cats or dogs for sake of ease. There's an organization called Poster here in Nashville. It's PAWSTER.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a very, very good organization.
Very interesting pun, but keep going.
Yeah, so it's a foster organization, not an adoption organization. So you think adoption, you think like, well, I'm going to have this dog for like 10 years or however long. These fosters, average length of time is like 2 months. You know, maybe your kid on break from college. Maybe you just, you know, need a little buddy in your house for a little bit. You're not sure if you're ready to commit to a whole ass pet. Hit up Poster. They help
They'll give
people.
you half of a pet.
They'll give you half of a pet for half the time. Always the top half. No, I'm just
What happened to the bottom half?
You can't give the bottom half for legal reasons.
Oh no.
Oh my god. But they give you all the food that you need. If the
that's
cat,
cool.
yeah, if it's a cat, they'll give you the litter box, they'll give you scratching posts, they'll give you toys. The cool thing about Posture is they're not just taking animals from shelters. What they're doing is they're helping people who are most often experiencing homelessness. Maybe they have to get a surgery and they're like an older person or a single person and they won't have anyone who's able to watch their animal for the couple weeks it takes them to recover. Maybe they're experiencing domestic violence, which can also lead to loss of housing or drug addiction. And so what they do is they meet up with these people. They get the animal. They get all the information on him. We have a cat named Zeus right now. He's a sweet little wiggle worm.
Oh.
He's a big orange guy, and every time I go to scratch him, he flips over onto his back and just starts wiggling back and forth while I scratch him. Super sweet little guy. But most often, these animals are reunited with their original owner. It's a really cool thing because these animals always go back to someone. If for whatever reason the person doesn't or isn't able to take them back, no problem. They'll either get them to another adoption agency or get them to someone else who will adopt them. Or you might end up falling in love with the little guy. I've had Zeus for a week and a half, and I'm already would die for him. So, but again, it's super short term. You get to help someone else who's going through a hard time. Make sure that they don't have to give up their animal, which is big ups on that. And you don't have to pay anything. All you have to do is just do a little interview, tell them about what your needs are. Maybe you already have dogs in the house or you already have a cat. They'll walk you through how to introduce them. Super sweet people, give you everything you need. And at most, it'll be a 2-month thing.
That's cool. What's their socials or website? Or
they're on Instagram, all the socials at Posture. Honestly, if you just Google Posture Nashville, they're on Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. Gabe, super great guys. The runs it. Amanda's been helping us a lot. She's been super helpful and very attentive to anything we might need. And and something I really like that they do is that every Saturday or at least once a week they ask you to send pictures of the animal in your house so that they can give them so they can pass them along to the animal's mom or dad. That way they like I said,
they get some little reassurance.
That's really cute.
It lets them know that they are like, hey, not only am I like going to get my animal back, but they're actively being taken care of right now. And they give the owners like extra food whenever they give the animals back. They spay and neuter them, give them vaccinations. They really do a lot for people.
Wow.
And
I have
the
a
animals.
question. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So let's say like I adopt one of the pets, maybe my own little Zeus,
Yeah.
and I fall in love with Zeus, and how do I put this? Refuse to give Zeus back. Can they take any legal matter, or can they do anything? Or
Unofficially, I think they might send someone to your place to rough you up a little bit until they get the animal back.
So you don't want to give back Zeus, huh?
Let's say I have a moat of some sort filled with alligators and crocodiles, and maybe even one small shark.
I got a few pets of my own, including this bat.
Including this bat. Yes,
Bat screeches in the background.
bear that in mind. The ultimate goal is to get the animal back. So even though I am devastatingly in love with Zeus right now, he's a sweet little guy, and it will shatter my heart when we give him back. I do know he's going back to his mama.
yeah, that's cool. That's really really cool.
Yeah. If that wasn't heartwarming enough, just imagine listening to that, and the person that's coming from is this just big old muscled up tatted man with a heart of gold.
Heart of gold.
Heart of gold.
Animals have no choice but to love me back.
You won't judge me, will you, Zeus?
Because if you do,
we might have a problem.
Speaking of hearts of gold, didn't we get an email recently?
We did,
We did get an email.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We got our first,
Actual, not trying to fuck with us email.
Yeah. Someone who didn't try to prank us in some form or fashion. A legitimate email to us from,
Gross.
from Paige.
Hey, Paige!
Hey, Paige.
What's going on, Paige? Now, Paige said that she was introduced.
Do you want to dox her by giving her last name? Should we just say Paige?
Paige, beep!
All right, cool.
No,
Jules, right there.
Now, Paige, I'm gonna keep saying it. Just
Yeah.
Every beep is
She
like
sent us-
$20, Jamie.
She
You're
sent
running
us the
in
email.
red. But she doesn't know who's listening to this.
Paige, and after looking her up and finding all the information, lives at.
Can you just read her email out loud for us, too?
Now, if you want to get back to Paige and say, what the hell are you doing with your life? Her email is.
We're doing a nice thing here, Jamie. She
sorry.
did nice. We're doing nice.
Let's go ahead and censor her last name, Jules. Let's go ahead.
Should I read the email?
Yes, please.
I only brought it up because so you wouldn't read it.
There is a part where it's like, thanks, Paige. Anyway. Paige writes, hi guys, I've been listening since the beginning because Austin was in one of my online classes and he said something about the podcast on a discussion board. Laughing emoji. I recently watched this documentary on HBO Max and I thought it could be interesting to you. The Edgewood experiments took place in the 1950s to the 1970s, where the Army was testing a shit ton of hallucinogenics and psychochemicals on volunteer soldiers to test their equipment, vaccines, etc. There's now a lawsuit from these veterans, which is said to be over 6,000 test subjects.
Ooh.
Wow.
Edgewood is what I call the forest where I jacket.
I hate you so much.
Very good.
I focused in on what you were saying, Joseph, because I was expecting like a really fun, cool fact about Edgewood.
That is a cool fun fact.
No, I'm slowly jorking it in Edgewood,
Jork it
and
to the
that's a
trees.
fun fact.
There's a really nicely shaped trunk over there. I'll show you guys sometime. If you squint, it looks like tits.
About how they have ridiculous medical conditions, and some have even said that they still have hallucinations 40 to 50 years after the fact.
Jesus.
Super wild story.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah. Well,
And
guess what?
Joseph's going to cover that one.
That's right.
That's right.
You got a Joey episode coming at you.
You got one in the works. We're smoking it at the smoke shop right now.
And hey, since you
Hang on, we're not done yet.
hold on, I'm not done yet.
Well, I'm not done yet first, so let me finish what
All I
I'm
was
doing.
going to say is
I
because
said
all I was going to say is because that you went to South College with me. Good luck to you in your studies, but I'll tag along with Joseph and we'll tackle this one together.
Oh, hell yeah.
oh shit.
Getting a double team episode.
That's
over
right.
here.
We're going to double team you, Paige.
And we're not done yet.
At the Edgewood.
At the
Okay. There's also another story about the NXIVM cult, the Nexium.
Nexium?
Nexium.
Nexium?
Yeah, yeah.
Nexium
Nexium
cult.
cult,
It's like
which
a
was
self-help cult.
Yeah.
actually fun, actually great. She actually said that she was which was created as a quote self-help kind of group. By the end, when it was disbanded and the leader was finally arrested, there were so many counts of sex trafficking, racketeering, and a lot of fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, thought you guys might like them. Okay, bye.
Well, thank you very
thank you
much.
so
Mitch.
much, Paige.
And
Paige.
to anybody else listening, we actually do read emails. And if you have a good suggestion, we will actually write an
And
episode
guess what?
about it.
She's got two.
That's
so
the thing. You have to have good suggestions. And I can tell Paige is a real one because she's suggesting an experiment where the government fucked people over so badly that apparently they're still having acid flashbacks like 4 decades later.
Imagine trying to explain that after it happens to
Yeah.
a random person. Sorry, the government did this.
40 years ago, I was a GI. The government dosed me so badly.
It's like, okay, buddy.
See,
Sure.
you get
All right, Granddad.
unethical government experimentation and self-help cult. Paige, you're on our level.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's all I can say.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna do the Nexium.
Nice.
Do you want to do it with me, Grant?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Sick.
two double teams.
Yeah, let's do it.
Paige, you
Damn.
can double team twice.
This is the best thing since the Eiffel Tower.
Sorry, Paige.
Sorry,
Paige.
Paige.
Yeah.
We from the bottom of all of our hearts, we really do appreciate your email.
Yes.
And thank you for being a fan from the beginning. That means you've
Goated.
Yeah.
And let that be a lesson to the rest of you fuckers. Just send us an email.
That's all it takes.
We'll read it. And if, again, you have a good idea, we're amenable to that.
Right. And
We'll
what's that
shout you
email?
out.
And what's that email?
Don't email trashville@gmail.com.
What's that again?
Don't email trashville@gmail.com. What's that again?
Don't email
trashville@gmail.com.
And let's go to the episode.
And let that be a lesson to you fucking stupid ass fans. Email us, you fucking pricks. Fucking hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
You listen to shitty podcasts and you probably hate yourself. Fuck you.
We're not monetized yet. We can't hate our fans yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as we get ad revenue, though,
As soon as we get
as we do,
it's over for you fucks.
as soon as we get to the point where like we hate them, but we know that they're going to listen anyway, like that's when we get started.
Yeah, once Joe Rogan buys us.
Right.
what a cruel twist of events that would be.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, but seriously, if Joe Rogan were to walk in here with like $5 million for each of us, would you say no?
I'd blow him.
I would too.
I don't know. Maybe. He tastes like elk.
I'd offer
like
Joseph to blow him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd make Joseph blow him.
Joe Rogan, your dick tastes like venison.
Gamey.
Jamie.
You've been sitting crisscross applesauce on some juniper berries? What the fuck is that?
Ooh. Okay, let's jump into today's episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What we got today, Jamie?
We are covering the curious case of Casey Anthony.
Woo!
Curious.
Yeah. We'll do a quick little warning here. This story does include cases of sexual assault, incest, child death / homicide. Please be advised.
You know, the fun stuff.
And
This is-
butthole pics.
Yeah, there's butthole pics.
Yeah, there's butthole pics.
Yeah.
I watched them, yeah. This is for mature adult
I've seen that
audiences.
starfish.
Rated MA.
Yes.
For not everyone.
Not everybody. MA, not everybody.
I guess we should also start off with, if you haven't seen Casey Anthony, she's a baddie.
I have seen.
Out of all of them,
I wanna
she
see
is one
again.
of the badder ones.
Thank you for the scientific response.
That is objectively the truth.
Okay.
Especially if you're into Floridians. Oh my God. She's like a fucking Daytona 9.
Oh, for sure.
For
I didn't
sure.
think about that. Oh, we'll get into this more, but just fun fact. Casey Anthony is such a baddie. After this whole situation happened, she was approached by Larry Flint, the owner of Hustler, to do a spread.
Dude, that's right.
Yeah.
Offered a lot of money,
I
too.
think he offered like $50K, something
it was a
stupid.
big chunk of change.
Yeah.
She didn't do it, though, right?
She did not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
So how bad is she? Do you know what I would do for $50,000? I would absolutely spread my butt cheeks
I was about to say, I
and
would
take a
spread,
picture of it.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Dude, for $5 million, we were going to suck Joe Rogan's weird anti-vax dick. Like, what do you think we'd do for $50K?
It's all this
Okay.
we talk.
Yeah.
That was just you, buddy.
No, I'm pulling you into this.
If I'm sucking a dick, we're all sucking a dick.
we made a pact. You don't remember the pact?
You don't remember the blood pact?
Man, I gotta stop drinking.
But don't stop drinking Corsair.
But I'm an alcoholic. Keep drinking.
Keep drinking. You're not an alcoholic if you drink Corsair.
You want to be an alcoholic or a quitter? Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Casey Marie Anthony was born on March 19th, 1986 to George and Cindy Anthony. She was the second child, with her older brother being Lee Anthony. While Casey was growing up, her father, George, worked in law enforcement. And to my understanding, that by the time of the disappearance of his granddaughter, Kaylee, he was a retired Florida detective. Now, on the surface, everyone thought the Anthony family was the prime example of a perfect family, which I always love when like documentaries start off like everyone thought they were perfect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do the negative effect.
Yeah, the photo negative.
Yeah.
Like, lightning crash.
It was a normal day until it wasn't. But as we go down the rabbit hole of this wild case, you will find that nothing could be further from the truth. Now, with all the information that is out and through everything I've received, it is hard to decide where to start, but let's start with Casey right before she was pregnant with her daughter, Kaylee. Casey became pregnant with Kaylee shortly after turning 18. It is hard to say for sure, but it seems as though at the time, Casey was known as a party girl, and she later claims she was raped at a local party and did not press any charges and hid the pregnancy from her family. In fact, her brother stated that he didn't find out until she was visibly showing. Sources say that Casey did not want to keep the baby, but her mother pushed her to keep the baby to keep up appearances.
So it's her mom's fault.
Case closed.
Bang the gavel.
Detective Austin. Detective Johnson.
All right, arrest the mom. Another fun day in law enforcement.
Let's go beat up homeless people.
No, it's sad because it's true.
But what did Casey tell her friends and family at the time? Well, shortly after first becoming pregnant and prior to visibly showing, she starts dating Jesse Grund. And I don't know how she finagled this, but she finagled this to where she told him that he was the father.
Okay.
So I guess
So I guess they banged.
yeah, really early. Presumably, I'm sure she was just
Yeah.
like, I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
And then,
Who did I bang last? No. He's too dumb. He's just dumb enough.
Jesse, I really love you. We should date. Sitting for a People interview in 2009, Grun said that he knew the timing of conception wasn't quite right, but that he thought it was quote unquote possible that he could be the father.
Honey Maddie.
We did bang a year and a half ago. Maybe it's just taking its time.
It's incubating, isn't it?
It's incubating.
Now, I don't know how pregnancy works for sure, but I'm not sure if it's mine. He said, for the first year or two of Kaylee's life, I was dad. I was the father figure in her life, and I loved her more than anything. She was an amazing little baby. I had never been a father before.
It's typically how
And
that
it
works.
doesn't say what exactly happened, but then they got a DNA test. Yeah, so after like 2 years, he was like, he does a DNA test, and then he finds out that he's not the father.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that bitch. Oh, 100% that bitch.
What up, Lizzo?
But again, Casey told everybody that Grund was the father. So then now everyone is just like, well, if he's not the father, who is? Asked about the paternity in 2008, Anthony's friend Lauren Gibbs told detectives, quote, well, at first I thought it was Jesse. I don't know his last name, but, and then she told me later that it was not, and that it was somebody who was in the army or something like that. But then she told me he had died last year in a car accident. So she started saying that at one point it was a guy from the army, then it was a guy that was just like coming through town, and then it was just a random hookup, and then she never really got his name, and then it turned into an ex-boyfriend. And that's kind of where she lands now, where like it was an ex-boyfriend, or now she says it was a rape.
Oh, okay. I got you. So it's changed a few times.
Yes, but now officially no one knows who the father is.
Right.
That has never been disclosed. So if you're worried about a compulsive lying woman, do me a favor and lock in. Fast forward. Casey
Sounds like my type.
I was going to say, it sounds like Jamie's type. I think I'm falling in love with Casey Anthony, like while he's researching.
I think I was. I'm like, nah, my baby didn't do that.
And she doesn't have a kid.
Anymore.
MILF, the hottest MILF there is.
The best kind of milk.
Casey is 19 and gives birth to Kaylee. In the picture, videos surrounding this time, Casey looks elated and engaging with her daughter, Kaylee. In fact, nearly all of Casey's peers, friends, family, and significant others at the time all have the consensus that Casey was actually a fantastic, loving mother.
Okay.
To clarify, throughout all of this, Casey lived with her parents, Cindy and George. She never moved out and even raised Kaylee in the same home.
Okay.
Sometime after Kaylee's birth, George gets caught cheating and moves out of the house.
Her dad.
Her dad,
Okay.
George. And seemingly in the last year of Kaylee's nearly 3-year-old daughter, George moves back in and seemingly all hell breaks loose. On June 16th, 2008, Casey Anthony departed from her parents' home in Orlando, Florida, where she and Kaylee resided. Her father, George, later testified that he saw his granddaughter, Kaylee, leaving with Casey. Casey told her mother, Cindy, that she was taking Kaylee to her nanny, who was identified as Zanny Fernandez Gonzalez. So she called her Zanny the nanny.
Okay.
I love that name.
It just
Zany
Why-
the nanny.
I hated that name. I was like, ugh.
it just sounds like you're slipping your kid like half a bar, so they'll like fall asleep and leave you alone.
Here's Zanny. Come on.
Zany the nanny.
Which is the first murder schmurder parenting tip of this episode. Do that.
But mommy, I don't go. Shut up.
Just like massaging their throats.
Will your kid never shut the fuck up ever?
You blow into their nose.
All gone. Now, 30 days after Casey's departure, her car was found abandoned in Orlando and towed away. George and Cindy were notified that the car had been impounded. When George went to remove the car from the tow yard, him and the tow yard manager noted a strong smell coming from the trunk, which both later stated they believed that to be the body or be the smell of body decomposition.
Ooh.
And so her car was towed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yet he never called Casey about it, never called the police, never was concerned about where Kaylee was, and never contacted any
Something
authority.
smells
figure.
like death around here.
Yeah. And this is the tow yard.
This
guy.
is Florida.
The tow yard and Kaylee's father, George.
Right.
Or Casey's father,
Okay.
George.
So he went to go get the car.
Yes.
And he was like, this fucking reeks.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
It is Florida.
It's Florida.
Gator probably crawled in there at some point.
I can understand the tow yard guy being like, I don't know, get the car out of here.
Yeah.
But-
you run a tow yard in Florida. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah, for the father/grandfather to just be like, that's pretty fucking weird.
Especially the
that is
longer
weird.
that the kid's missing. But she hasn't been reported missing yet, right?
I didn't think about the tow yard manager until you said that.
Yeah.
Because that's a funny as fuck situation. We're like, that's a dead body, but that's also not my fucking problem. Give me my money and you can take the car.
Give me my $250. Get that fucking stinking ass car out of here. Call the cops when you get off my property. I don't care.
Like just the detective's like, so you knew it smelled like a dead body? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And you did not call us. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not my body.
Well, technically, that's not illegal. I want to arrest you. Let's go beat up homeless people. Sorry. Anyway, he later says that when the trunk was opened, it contained only a bag of trash.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is George.
George.
Okay.
That day, Cindy reported Kaylee missing, telling 911 dispatchers that Casey's car smelled of dead bodies and that she had not seen Kaylee for 31 days.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So the timeline is Casey leaves to go to Zanny the nanny. 31 days go by, and then they report the kid missing.
Yes.
And they haven't seen Casey in that 31 days.
Kaylee.
Or I'm
They've
sorry.
seen Casey.
But I'm saying, have the parents, like Casey's parents, seen Casey?
Yes.
But they haven't seen the Kaylee.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I can kind of almost get that in the sense that like Casey comes by the house. I was like, oh, where's Kaylee? Oh, she's with the nanny.
She's with the nanny. Everything's
But
cool.
after a month, you're like, okay, seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. But even after a month, they both sleep and live there. So I would,
Well, that's right. Casey lives with them.
yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm back to that being fucked up.
Yeah, I'm back
Yeah.
to that's really weird.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not adding up, right? Okay.
Right.
So police show up
Yeah.
and they're like, there's a missing child, so they're running.
She's
all
like
the
under
protocol.
5, right?
Yeah, so she's not even 3 yet.
Oh,
She's
okay.
about to be 3 in a couple months.
You can't leave a 2 3/4-year-old kid with a nanny for 31 days, not unless you're like, I don't know, rich or something.
But
Yeah, but that's some au pair shit, not nanny shit.
Right.
yeah. Who's that? Grace?
Probably my wife.
Grace.
Yay.
And that's a dog.
That's not Grace. That's a dog.
Gracie gets very territorial.
What's it called? So cops show up, right? Of course, there's a missing child, so they're starting to like, we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
We're already 31 days late somehow, but we're kind of have to get the ball rolling now.
Yeah.
So they start asking everybody questions. So they separate them all out and start asking like, where the fuck is this kid? Give me everything that you know.
And Casey doesn't report her missing.
No. Yeah.
All right.
So they start by asking Casey what happened because Casey's the mother.
Right.
Casey told investigators that she had left Kaylee at the apartment of her nanny, Zanny, and had not seen her since, thus believing that Zanny, the nanny, had kidnapped the toddler.
I don't know. That's Zanny.
I don't fucking know.
She was saying that she had dropped her off before going into work at Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun place.
So cops are like, this is weird, but
It is.
let's start going through everything. And they actually, from this whole situation, they like take us to Zanny's apartment right now.
Okay.
Because they're like, well, if this is true,
We
then-
got to go there right now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to go pick up this child right now. Like she could be in utter danger. They get there, the apartment is empty. No one has lived in the apartment, and under further investigation, the apartment had been abandoned for over 140 days.
Whoa.
Casey also told police when she was working she was working at Universal. Upon further investigation, they find out that she hadn't been working at Universal for over 2 years.
Ooh.
Okay.
So they're scratching their heads. They don't know exactly what to do. So detectives pick her up and then take her to Universal because they're like, we want to see how she reacts to under pressure before we start calling her out on all these lies.
Right. So they're like, listen, obviously she's lying to us, but we don't want to just cold go into it and be like, hey, what the fuck? We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna let her see how she reacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go to the front desk and, of course,
She didn't work there in like what, 2 years?
2 years.
Okay.
So she apparently acts like she works there still. So she's like, I'm Casey Anthony. And the guy's like, we don't have anyone that works here. Name that that. No one works here under Casey Anthony. He's like, no, I work here. And then apparently detectives are like, well, just go ahead and just take us to your office then. And so the guy lets them go in and lets her lead to take her to wherever her Universal Studios office would be.
Office.
That one's got a guy in it. That one's got a guy in it. Oh, that one's empty.
Upon further interviews, like later years, the detectives that were there, they said that apparently as they're walking through the halls, she's like saying hi and good morning to everybody. And apparently, like everybody had a reasonable
Who the fuck
response.
is
Like,
that?
yeah, who are you?
Hi, Bill. I'm Derek.
Especially for a stranger being escorted by 2 cops
That's what-
through your
yeah.
office.
You have 2 detectives and a lady obviously lying, and you're like, "Hi, Bill." What the?
Stacy. Damn Buster's after.
Just another manic Monday.
And then apparently she like leads them into a dead end, and then basically just turns around and is like, "Yep, I don't work here." So
The detectives are like, yeah, we kind of figured.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
then
where's your daughter?
like they're having a good laugh, like, oh, yeah, we knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, the daughter thing, yeah.
Yeah,
we're here
so where
first.
is she?
Yeah.
This break room sucks.
Sorry. She tells them that she had worked there before earlier, and she had to leave for maternity leave, which is also a weird other lie because she later says in an interview that she left because her contract was up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what company has 2 years of maternity leave?
Not an American one, I'll
Right.
tell you that. Not
Also-
even a European one.
I want to know how she supposedly got this job because she was so young.
Yeah.
Like she would have been like
17.
Yeah, 17, 18 to
Yeah.
work at Universal Studios and not like
It's
doing
not-
the hard labor. She was like
Yeah,
saying she
well,
worked
I
in an
pictured
office.
her
So
like
that's not unheard
taking
of.
tickets and stuff. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
not like working behind the scenes and doing like logistics or accounting or
Right.
whatever for Universal.
It's not unheard of for people in like their younger teens to work at those parks like that.
Sure, but like in an office in
Yeah.
the park.
No,
Yeah.
it happens.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Like an intern. Anyways.
Anyway, Casey was subsequently arrested. On July 29th, Casey was offered a limited immunity deal in exchange for help finding Kaylee. Prosecutors said that they would use Casey's statements to police against her. And then she stuck saying, I don't know. Everything I told you is what I know, essentially.
Mm.
And the offer expired on September 2nd, 2008. As this is going on, the police are finding out more about Casey and what she was doing during that 31-day span from the last time they saw Kaylee to the time that the police were called. And it's not looking too good because one of the big things that she did and even took a picture of, she got a tattoo that reads Bella Vita, which means beautiful life in Italian.
It's dumb bitch.
She was helping her DJ boyfriend.
Yeah.
Now that's the most Florida thing I've ever heard.
Shacking up with Mixmaster Mike while her daughter's missing.
She's helping him by working and promoting shows or his shows.
Right.
Sure. She's promoting her DJ boyfriend while her daughter's missing.
And in this, there's actually several photos that were released of her suggestively dancing in a very revealing dress during this time.
Where?
What do I Google?
What's it called? Apparently, she stole a checkbook of one of her friends and went on a shopping spree.
Oh, jeez.
Just getting more Florida by the second.
And I saw like you know when I like read different things and watched different documentaries and yada yada after doing the research, and I saw that someone said she went on a shopping spree, and then I saw the video of her shopping in this quote unquote spree.
Yeah.
It was at a Target, and I was like, you know what?
Hey, Target. That's as fancy as it gets down in Florida, right?
Yeah. Plus, if I stole someone's checkbook, I can think of a worse place to go than Target.
I was gonna say, what place accepts checks these days?
I guess yeah, that is a good point. You
Yeah.
would have to go to like a Walmart or a Target, like a big chain,
Right.
So they're just like, fuck, we'll take a check, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then she kept up appearances with her friends, her boyfriend, even roommates. Like everybody basically said in interviews and even testified that in the 31 days, everything was normal. She was perfectly fine. She said she was smiling, that she went out with them still, no problems whatsoever. This further cements the popular.
I'm just like, hey, so Casey, how are things going with you? Everything's fine. Can't find my kid. but
What are you gonna do?
just taking
Anyway.
it one day at a time.
I'm thinking Chinese later. And this further cements the popular belief and narrative that the media was presenting that Casey did not care for her daughter, and her daughter was obviously missing, making her a terrible mother and baby killer.
I don't know where they got that idea.
So, fun fact: the reason why we have these like Florida man, like so many like what's the term I'm looking for?
Headlines. And
Yeah, the
crime
headline.
data.
Like so apparently it's based on like
Sunshine laws.
Yeah.
yeah, the laws of Florida specifically. Like the media is able to easily request any and all things that
They
are
get a
going
lot
to,
of access to
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like confidential or marked as like eyes only for like sensitive for a case or something, they'll pretty much just be like, "Oh, you want to hear about the robbery? Sure, here you go. Here's the dude's name. Here's where it happened. Here's all the info."
Yeah, which is wild. Like, so I found this out. I thought it would just be like you can just find out like, I guess the main points of
Yeah.
a crime, they were able to request access to like information on what's the term? Like evidence. So they could look up like, hey, I want to know everything about this evidence that happened here. Like very personal, something that only someone in the case would know.
Yeah.
So because of that, the media is blowing this up because they can get access to all those photos. They're posting pictures of her when she was younger and drinking.
Yeah.
That didn't happen during this time frame, but it does help paint this picture as well.
It's a juicy story too. Little kids missing,
Tattoo?
Tattoo?
What? Yeah. So Casey's parents appeared on NBC's Today on October 22nd, 2008, maintaining their belief that Kaylee was alive and would be found. Larry Garrison, president of Silver Creek Entertainment, acted as the Anthony family's spokesman until November of 2008, when he resigned, citing the family's erratic behavior.
I can see that.
Summer 2008, Kaylee's grandmother, Cindy, called a nonprofit meant for helping people, specifically like using horses and volunteers and stuff like that, called EquiSearch, found Tim Miller. What?
Sorry, I don't know why EquiSearch got me. Are they looking for her on horseback?
A search for equestrians.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You can cover more land.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I just
Horses.
yeah. I just picture a horse answering the phone.
I can't find my daughter.
Have you seen her? No.
But the mother basically implores for Tim Miller, the owner, to help them and pretty much drop everything that they were doing. And in this, said it launched the second most costly search in the organization's 11-year history, eating away at 40% of its annual budget to finance motel rooms, rent vehicles, and related expenses for volunteers from 13 different states who aided in the search.
Hay bales, stables,
Farriers.
farriers.
Why are you renting vehicles? You got horses.
Louis Vuitton bags, the whole thing. I need those. I need
Throw an Xbox 360 on there while we're at it.
In this time, the story of a cute 2-year-old missing with a mother that reported her absence 31 days later has blown up even more because now hundreds of people are helping look for her. So now, like, everyone's getting emotionally involved of like, we have to find this kid. Like, we need to help. People are putting up posters, signs, T-shirts are made. Like, she's basically on like milk cartons everywhere.
Yeah. All the news stories and everything.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, Casey, who is at least probably knew what happened, is just like, ooh, this is a lot of attention.
I didn't know they'd be this upset.
I've made a huge mistake.
And I'll just get a tattoo and wait for this all to blow over.
You guys want to talk about something else? I mean,
Why are you obsessing over Kaylee? Oh my God.
God. She tries to like sequester all that information or all that attention into like getting her DJ boyfriend like a spot. Benefit concert for Kaylee.
So the search persists all over the Orlando area, apparently all in vain. Fast forward August 11th, 12th, and 13th. A meter reader named Roy Kronk.
Okay.
I'm a meter reader. Yeah.
You want me to read this meter?
Squeak.
Called police about a suspicious object found in a forested area near the Anthony residence.
Yeah, that's when I got a little suspicious.
In the first instance, he was directed by the sheriff's office to call a tip line, which he did, and then received no return call. The next day,
All
he
right.
calls again.
Hey, seriously.
And was met by 2 police officers. He reported to them that he had seen what appeared to be a skull near a gray bag.
Yeah, so I saw the skull. It was great bad. And that's when I thought I'd call you guys.
But this makes it sound like
I'm Officer Crump.
Okay, it's hard to say.
Sorry, meter reader crunk.
The way I'm piecing this together, it seems as though, so he calls the first day. The police are like, oh, no, we don't handle that case. Call these people. They'll handle the case. And then they don't call back. The second day, apparently, like, he calls his boss, and his boss is like, call the police. What do you, I don't know what to tell you. So he calls the police, and the police are like, yeah. Then the next day, he's like, no, I seriously found a skull.
So seriously, there's a skull. Here, great back. I think you should be more concerned about this. I'm just the meter.
Given that there's a missing 3-year-old
that everyone knows about.
You know, it could be this kid, Kaylee.
was a pretty small skull.
Right. Yeah. Kaylee Anthony. That's the one.
So they finally search the area and find the remains of a child scattered all in the area.
Oh no. Not scattered.
Investigative teams recovered duct tape, which was hanging from the hair attached to the skull, and some tissue left on the skull.
Eesh.
Over the next 4 days, more bones were found in the wooded area near the spot where the remains initially had been discovered. On December 19th, 2008, medical examiner John Garavaggio confirmed that the remains found were Kaylee's.
Sorry, dude. That was the worst butcher of a name I've heard in a long time. Like, to the point where that is his last name now. Richard
Richard? Richard Ghirardelli?
Did you like how that hard slipped and then just like nothing happened? Let's just keep going.
I couldn't let you get away with that one.
I was really hoping no one was going to mention that. All right. Anyway, the death was ruled a homicidal. Well, it was ruled a homicide, and the cause of death undetermined.
Yeah, well, it's kind of scattered everywhere. I think I should be doing your job. I think I was meant to be more than a meter reader.
Looks like a suicide to me.
The body looked like it was blown up with dynamite.
Okay, so Casey.
I was also imagining meter reader crunk, like going from meter to meter, like.
I would watch this movie like a crunk spin-off.
Oh, come on, man, with the ticket. I already started writing it.
Yeah, once you put the pen to the paper, there's no going back.
Casey was charged with giving false statements to law enforcement, child neglect, and obstruction of a criminal investigation.
Yeah.
The judge denied bail, saying Casey had shown, quote, woeful disregard for the welfare of her child.
Again, yeah.
On July 22nd, 2008, after a bond hearing, a judge set bail at $500,000. A month later, Casey was released from the Orange County Jail after her $500,000 bond was posted by Tony Padilla, the nephew of the California bail bondsman Leonard Padilla.
What?
Leonard said
here's $500,000.
Leonard said he hoped he and his nephew could help Anthony find the missing daughter.
We're going to find your daughter, sweetheart.
So out of the goodness of his heart, he posted a $50K bond.
$500K.
$500K.
Well, I think you have to put up 10%.
10%. So he put up $50K.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
For what fucking reason?
I'm pretty sure because she's a baddie.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure he just saw her mugshot and he's like, oh.
mug shot.
I can fix her.
So he bonds her out of jail, right? Mm-hmm. Picks her up, tells her like, we're gonna find the kid, yada yada yada. They end up back, to the Anthony Anthony residence. He takes her back to her place. First, we got to do a couple things.
She's fertile but crazy.
Aren't they all?
But
not all of them.
Like I said, this whole story has been blowing up, so it's all across the media. The Casey, the Anthony household where everyone lives, is a mob of people coming in and out every day, knocking on their door, harassing them, saying like, kill Casey. Casey is a baby killer. How could you do this? You know something is going on. Who knows what? And basically won't leave this family alone. Padilla sees this, changes his mind, revokes the bond.
You can do that?
I guess I didn't know you could do that.
Sweetheart, I think I was thinking with my dick on this one.
And then returned her to jail.
You can do that? I did not know that.
Alrighty, sweetheart. It seems to me that you might actually done this.
Leonard further added that Casey had not wanted to communicate with him. So I think my theory on this situation right now is he saw mugshotties. He saw a baddie. He started thinking with his dick, I can bond her. I can fix her. I can fix this whole situation. She didn't do it. I got her back.
And then she'll fall in love with me.
And then she'll probably give me roadhead on the way back. And then she was like, I'm not sucking your dick. Put your pants back up. And he's like, I'll take you back to jail.
I'll turn this car around.
The ultimate dad. Don't make me turn this car around.
Don't make me turn this car around.
On September 5th, 2008, Casey was released again on bail for all pending charges after being fitted with an electronic tracking device. Her $500,000 bond was posted by her parents, who signed a promissory note for the bond.
Bad call, parents.
On October 14th, 2008, Casey was indicted by a grand jury on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information to police. She's arrested again for different charges. And Judge John Jordan ordered that she had been held without bond. A week later, the state dropped the child neglect charge because the, quote, the neglect charges were premised in the theory that Anthony was still alive. So now that we know she's dead, we're not going to charge her with that.
So if she gets arrested again and they've already posted bail, do you get that $50K back? Probably not, right?
No, because that's just a different...
Because it's just different charges?
Yeah, just in completely different charges.
Fuck, man. That sucks. You're like,
and
cool.
I'm 50K out.
I got my shitty daughter out of jail. Oh, she's back in. And I'm 50K lighter.
On April 13th, 2009.
Boy, do I feel stupid.
Seriously. George and Cindy must have been fucking foaming at the mouth.
The prosecutors announced that they had planned to seek the death penalty in this case.
That might be where they fucked up. The first part. The first part where they fucked up.
The 50K? Or
No,
wanting
I mean
death
the
penalty?
prosecutor seeking the death penalty on a young woman, you know what I mean, who just lost her daughter. Even if you can... I know there's a lot of neglect in this court case and how that was handled, obviously, because Casey Anthony's free, spoiler alert, but like I feel like seeking the death penalty is a hard sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that might have tripped him up a little.
We'll get more into that, but that becomes a huge problem. Them going to that extreme makes it a much harder uphill battle in from a legal standpoint.
Right, because you're not saying, well, obviously she did something. This is worthy of 25 to life or 30 years or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But to say that like, oh no, we're gonna kill this bitch. You know, that's a hard sell.
Yeah. So while in police custody, Casey does actually befriend some of her cellmates, and some have done interviews for documentaries. But Casey tells the girls in jail that she needs a good lawyer. One of the girls suggests a real pro that she knows.
Joe Pesci.
And Casey takes her up for this. For the record, getting lawyer advice from a person in prison is like... It's like asking Austin what kind of condom I should get.
What are condoms?
Or asking a right-wing educator why they voted for a president who just gutted federal programs. Or asking Joseph to wear a collared shirt and pants without any vegan soy boy cum stains.
Impossible.
Do it. It won't happen.
I got nothing for Grant.
Sweet.
It's like under the radar.
It's like asking Grant to not come home with grass stains.
Yeah, that's good enough.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyways, Casey Anthony hires Jose Baez, specifically a Florida criminal defense attorney. He apparently was pretty good, but surprisingly green for a case of this caliber. Now, like I said, the rest of the world gets to see all of this happening and unfolding, and everyone is under the presumption that Casey did it, just kill her. She's a baby killer. This is an open shut case. This is very easy. She obviously did something that led to that death.
Right.
So again, people are still harassing the family, their house, stalking them. Yes, sir.
Where's Zanny the nanny in all of this?
Oh, yeah.
So
Is any of the nanny real?
So they start. Well, I'll get there.
Are we getting there?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Sorry. It just popped in my head. It's like, wait a minute.
Wait a sec.
That rhymes.
I like things that rhyme.
This court case blows up to such a crazy extent. So in Florida, you can attend like any case, like just a random person.
Oh, just the public?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone wants a piece of this action. So hundreds of people are showing up to see this case in person. So many people show up that they start giving out like a lottery ticket essentially for each day of the court case.
Okay.
And then like 1,000 people show up. Let's say there's only 100 seats. They'll give all 1,000 people a ticket, and then they'll call out the numbers, and 100 of those people can go.
That's a fair way to do it.
Yeah. There's videos of people in line waiting because this is early morning. So it's like the sun isn't even up and people are in line. And
Number 52. Suck it, bitches.
apparently, so there
Ticket scalpers out there. Like,
dude, it was one step away from that.
Yeah.
So like they have people like you have to get in line to get the lottery number. And there's videos of this one guy getting into a fight with another guy because he tried to skip him in line.
yeah.
So this is fucking wild. So that's just what's going on around the court case, not the actual court case. Jury selection begins. And because everyone in this area knows and has heard about this and it's all over the media, this becomes kind of like the YSL case. They have to like find people that have not heard of this story, which is already one really hard thing. And two, now they have to bring people in from a different county.
Yeah.
I was actually curious about that. Like if it was like a statewide thing, like would they start grabbing people from other states? But
normally it's not from another state
Right.
because the state's prosecution team is doing
Right.
it. But like they had to do a similar thing for the Selena case.
bring in the swamp people.
But I believe they moved the case. I believe they just moved the case to an entirely different city.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because the main reason most people prefer moving to the whole case to a different city is that if you bring in people from a different county, now the state has to host them.
Right. Right.
So now they have to like, you have, I think in this court case,
You get that letter in the mail.
Ah, fuck. Jury duty in Florida?
so there were 12 jurors and then 5 alternates.
Yeah.
So that's 17 people that now the state has to pay for, like motels, food, water, everything.
Yeah.
Which is a big pain in the ass and makes this court case even more expensive. So normally they try to not do that. And the trial begins and they bring in everybody that they can find. One of the witnesses is they find a Zenaida Gonzalez. And Zenaida Gonzalez testifies and says, I don't know this woman. I have never met this woman.
Yeah.
I have no part in this, but I am a nanny.
Funny enough.
No. No.
So
Me no.
no.
So Casey heard about this lady through someone or maybe saw an
Yeah.
ad or something and just it locked into her brain.
Yes.
I do not know, Casey.
No.
No.
Sorry, that's really getting me. In several documentaries, one of the key guys that does interviews, and he's done it multiple times, is not Casey Anthony's boyfriend, but the boyfriend's roommate.
Okay.
And the boyfriend's roommate on multiple occasions actually says the exact same thing that Joseph said. He thinks Zanny the nanny, because apparently, like, you know, Florida DJs,
Yeah.
he's saying that, you know, they would partake of different things. He never specifies, but he says he thinks that Casey was drugging Kaylee as a form of like nannying. So she could go out, party, do these events.
So it was
So our joke
Zanny
from
the
earlier
nanny.
hits a little too close to home.
Oh
Got it.
shit!
Well, that's not funny. That's sad.
Yeah, fuck.
The trial begins on May 24th, 2011.
Yeah, that's just fucked up now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke earlier about like she's just lying to her parents, being like, "Okay, going to work at
Orlando Studios.
Yeah, Orlando Studios, and then gonna drop Kaylee off at Zanny's place, or
I feel like
just
the
in
parent-
fact
I
just
feel like the
drugging
parent-
the kid and going and partying for
Yeah.
2 years."
I feel like the parents were
Jesus.
like, wait, you're going to a nanny named Zanny? Like, yeah. Zanny who? Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And then there just happens to be a Zanny Gonzalez. Like, I have no idea who this person is. Yeah, I'm a nanny, but this is very, very coincidental.
Yeah, jeez.
And the trial starts in 2011.
Yeah.
So she's been held for like approximately 3 years.
Yes.
And I'm a sophomore in high school.
2011, I would have just been graduating high school.
So
Where were you in 2011, Grant?
What would that make me, a sophomore in college? I guess.
Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
it was
I know why you looked at me like I would know.
I don't know. Do the math that I have in my head.
I think I was a sophomore in college too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The prosecution team, their big thing is they show a day-by-day situation of what's going on, from the mysterious, like, last time they saw her to her partying and then finding the death.
Mm-hmm.
So their big thing is they're saying, like, we want the death penalty and we're going to prove that Casey killed her. So here's kind of all the evidence of the prosecution team.
Mm-hmm.
What they find in the car, specifically, they find that they took morgue dogs or whatever, but they're dogs that basically pick up the scent of
Corpse
like dead
dogs.
bodies. Yes.
Yeah.
And the dogs, after 2 trials, one trial says the dogs led them to the trunk.
Okay.
One of the dogs did not say anything. So
Dog was called to testify, didn't speak. Speak!
Oh my god!
Right me in the face.
Well, now we got to deal with this talking dog.
Dog? Where?
That's a dark episode of Scooby-Doo.
Racy Anthony. And I would have gotten away with it too. If it weren't for you meddling kids
And all the Xanax I did earlier.
and that dog.
So they look in the trunk. They say, all the prosecutors, all the detectives all say that it smells distinctly of a dead body.
And that the dogs were drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Not only the dogs are saying that, the humans are saying that. The
so
people.
they're saying that like at some point we know
A body was in this
Kaylee's
trunk.
body
Right.
was in here before it was dumped in the woods.
Yes.
Okay.
And they find Kaylee's hairs in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
They find
Okay, in the trunk specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
And they find that the hair had different bands on it, specifically bands that would come up during body decomposition.
okay.
On top of that, they find that the trunk has a lot of chloroform in the air.
Okay.
Another small thing, and this will come up later more, but they find an imprint of a Winnie the Pooh-like figure in the trunk.
Oh, an imprint.
Like the body was laying on something shaped.
So it later comes about that it looks like it would be like whatever was like a blanket, a Winnie the Pooh blanket.
Uh-huh.
The remains of it from whatever chemical the chloroform was there.
Okay.
Oh, like it formed an outline.
Yes.
That's haunting.
Yes.
Whoa.
So they're like, this looks fucking sketchy as hell. So the way they did it is they grab a sample of the air that's in the trunk.
Okay.
And then basically put it through a machine that says like, what are all the chemicals in the air?
Yeah, like a spectrometer or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And in it, they say large amounts of chloroform
Yeah.
and what seems to be some form of
Decomposition gases.
Yes.
This seems like a fucking slam dunk. I'm very curious as to hear how they fucked it up.
Okay, that's the car. Now they're going through the body that they found.
Yeah.
So they find this body. They can prove that it's Kaylee's body. They find that the jaw is still hooked up to the rest of the skull. And they're saying that almost never happens.
Yeah.
Unless there's duct tape holding it together.
Oh.
So that's why they're saying that the duct tape was over the mouth.
And specifically because the lower jaw doesn't have anything beyond ligaments that hold it in.
Yes, and
So,
all the
okay,
ligaments had already
Dissolved.
yes.
Or necrotized or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So they're thinking now even more that this was a murder. Now they're trying to say like this is not just neglect. This
Right.
was a body that was dumped
Right.
or killed
Yeah.
and then dumped.
Right.
On top of everything in that area, they find like more remains of whatever she was wrapped in. And they find a laundry bag and the duct tape. They find out like it has like a little heart on it.
A heart?
It had a heart on it.
Like
They found the brand and it had like someone had drawn a heart on it.
drawn a heart.
They link the laundry bag back to Casey's house, and they find when they're going through Casey's house that the theme of Kaylee's room is Winnie the Pooh.
Damn.
So there's Winnie the Pooh stuff everywhere in her room.
Yeah.
They find that the laundry bag was from a twin set. The other laundry bag also came from that house.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
So prosecution's like, we got her.
Yeah, the
We got
prosecution
her
is like,
ass.
this is easy. This is an open shut case. This bitch knows what happens. This bitch, in the least, she knows what happened. It
Right.
might have been an
of
accident,
course.
but it was
Right.
covered up and knows, and thus deserves the
But
death
she
penalty.
knew her daughter was dead.
Can
Yes.
I ask, when from the time that she was reported missing to when they found the body, how much time was?
That's a good question.
Months.
Months.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So it happened, I want to say like early summer. I think I said it was like July or
Yeah.
June when she's officially like they call, but she's not found. Well, I guess the body was found in August. But then it wasn't decided, I think, till the December.
That it was her.
That
was
after
Kaylee.
all the testing
Right.
and everything,
I'm
and
just,
found
trying
the
to,
DNA.
I'm just trying to think of like the time for decomposition of the body. I'm trying to.
It's oddly quick, and they
Right.
bring it up like why the body was like just basically dispersed in the small
Right,
area.
It's
From
also
what-
summer in Florida.
actually that comes up. They were saying how like they think that she was put in a trash bag, and of course they found the trash bag. She was put in a trash bag, but it wasn't sealed all the way. And in this wooded area, it got flooded, and water went down, went up, little critters, gators, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Trash bag creates heat, traps in the moisture and everything, probably accelerates the process, I would assume.
okay.
And they're thinking that at one point the remains got flooded, and then it kind of just like once everything had decomposed, essentially the water had taken all the extra tissues and ligament and
Yeah.
spread the bones around.
Crazy.
You might have said something, and sorry if I missed it, but what you said it was found, was it at a park or like a state park or something where they found her?
So it seems as though Casey's family lived like in a cul-de-sac subdivision kind of thing,
Okay.
and as soon as you leave that area is a wooded area.
So that's right, because it was super close by.
Super close by.
God.
Like, they said it was like less than a 5-minute drive.
This bitch killed her daughter and she's lazy.
I was trying to tie those two together.
So, which is even more wild because, like I said, the guy that did that search, the EquiSearch, he said he dumped all this money, all this time with people from 13 different states,
Well, sure.
but he didn't look anywhere near the house.
Well, I guess because they would. I could see them assuming that it's like, well, why would we look so close to the house? Because
month
they were
had
in
gone
Orlando,
by.
right? And Orlando, beyond like, the Disney World Universal super built up part of it is super swampy. So I'm sure they were in the swamps, like thinking like a gator got her or something, or like that she like got stuck in a mud pit or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
Boars, maybe.
There are a lot of
There
wild
are
boars.
boars, yeah.
Yeah.
But on top of everything that the prosecution is presenting, they're also showing the jurors how much Casey has lied to them about everything. Like, we don't know anything from Casey that is true.
Right.
She has virtually told us nothing. So we see her partying. We see her having a good time in the time that Casey or Kaylee is missing. We don't know exactly how she died, but now they think she was drugged by chloroform. Her body was grabbed by the blanket that's in the house, using tools from the house. They even find the duct tape, the same brand of duct tape in the house.
Damn.
So maybe Casey gives her daughter a pill or a couple pills to like, cause she builds up a tolerance. So she can go out and club and comes back, finds her daughter presumably dead, but then that doesn't explain the chloroform. Go ahead, Jamie.
The duct tape, really.
Yeah.
So they think it was chloroform from drugging her, and they kind of stick to that. Even so much so as like they do an animation, and they show like
animator.
They got an animator to basically show the skull with the duct tape, and then they animates into her full face, showing the duct tape over her mouth.
Well, you think it was like a Disney Imagineer on contract work who was just like, oh, man, I really wanted to branch out, but yeah, this might not go on the CV. Because they're in, Orlando.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I just had a hard brain fart because I was gonna say something about the prosecution. What were we just talking about? Doing this in the morning is hard.
Yeah.
They found the duct tape. They
Hired an
type of duct
animator.
tape in there and hired
They
the
found it
animator.
in the house. They found the duct tape in the house.
So, they
Casey's
think,
been lying.
yeah. So they say that they think that Casey was drugged by the chloroform. I'm under the personal belief that the chloroform, because chloroform comes from a lot of different chemicals, and if you mix different chemicals together, you can accidentally make like mustard gas. You can accidentally make chloroform. I think someone tried to clean the trunk.
Oh, okay.
And not well, but
Yeah.
mixed a whole bunch of chemicals and accidentally made chloroform.
So that's sort of a byproduct of the cleaning rather than like
That's my
dose
theory.
her. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not a bad
Right.
theory though.
No one has said that. I'm a super genius detective, so I came up with that personally, but
It's a good idea. It's
Thank you.
it makes sense. I got to give him that one.
just a detective. What was I talking about? Oh yeah,
Just
here's
in
my
court.
super genius hunch. In the trial's second week, the prosecution starts interviewing or calling to ask questions to the family, and George becomes their key witness. George is again sticking to, I didn't know anything. I don't know where the body is. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to support my daughter, essentially. And he flip-flops between that and saying that Casey didn't do XYZ, and Casey was partying and doing XYZ.
Okay.
But again, he's the key witness in saying that she should die because he is the prosecution's key witness. But they bring in like Zanny the nanny, and Zanny's like, I don't know anything about anything.
No.
They bring in the boyfriend, and like I said,
I was wondering when he was going to come back around.
and
he-
then they brought in
he doesn't
Gronk
actually. I
immediately.
haven't seen him in any interviews. The boyfriend's
Meter with
roommate
Gronk.
does a whole bunch of interviews,
Right.
Because I
The
imagine he
Gronk that
gets.
reads the meter.
Do you think they had
Meter
him?
reader Gronk.
They had Crunk. They bring in Crunk.
Do you think they had the DJ perform the like ceremony for Kaylee's funeral?
Oh my god,
Oh my god!
dude! The funeral was
Bum, bum,
huge.
bum.
I'm sure. God damn.
Bring those hands up for Kaylee. Can I hear a roar if you're sad right now?
No. Let me hear you say yeah.
On the flip side, in the testimonies, Cindy, Casey's mom, is heartbroken and keeps taking back what she was saying earlier and changing recanting pretty much everything to defend Kaylee or defend Casey.
Yeah.
So she's like, the call where you called someone and it smelled like someone, or you called 911 and it smelled like someone had died in there. And she was like, oh, that's just a figure of speech. I did not smell a dead body in that car.
So they're flip-flopping.
Yes.
This is their daughter.
Their mom is now hardcore flip-flopping. She will not say anything against her daughter while her dad keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, it gets wild on what the defense does. Because, once the prosecution is out, everyone thinks, kind of like Joseph, open, shut case.
Right.
Like, there's nothing the defense could bring up that could really shake any of this.
Right. Like, what are they going to say?
Yeah. What could you possibly say to get out of this?
You know what the defense said? Hold my beer.
Dude, the defense knocks this out the fucking park. Okay, first thing. On the first day, Jose Baez brings up that Casey is a compulsive liar because her father would rape and molest her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's saying, and this is a hard-ass quote, he basically at one point says, how could you not grow up a liar if you are sucking dick one moment and then going to school the next?
Oof.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That doesn't leave a good taste in my
No, I mean, obviously he chose those like.
Either just blowing your dad.
See, that was called my for you listeners out there. That's called a layup.
Yeah.
That was Austin very generously tossing the ball out and be like, anybody?
And Joseph took it and shoved it down the goal's throat.
Shoved it so hard that the backboard shattered and the bar lowered.
Alley oof.
Bravo! More, sir, more.
Damn, so George is on the stand about his granddaughter's murder, presumably at the hands of his daughter, and then the fucking defense is just like, oh yeah, he was raping his daughter, and he's just like, say what now?
Hey, Georgie, how was that BJ, huh?
So,
Oh my god.
there's tons of video because they videotaped the court case.
Oh yeah.
So you see the dad, George, you see his face, surprisingly calm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's yeah. Okay, so for all you fathers out there, if anybody maybe suggests that you forced your own daughter to suck your dick, not the time to not say anything.
That's not the time for stoic dad.
Right. That's the time to jump across the room and
Beat that defense attorney's ass.
yeah, you pick a fist or your foot and you stick it up his ass.
Dude. But then again, the guy's defending your daughter from the death penalty.
Yeah.
And they're flip-flopping on it. So obviously they're like,
Yeah.
What a shit position to be in.
man, I got to say, Baez, that's a smart play.
Okay, so not only that, Baez doesn't tell Casey he's going to tell the courtroom.
Oh, really?
He completely blindsides her.
Damn.
And this part is hard for a lot of the outside community. The jurors bring this up because they're further interviewed after all of this happens. But people are saying the weirdest part about him, Jose Baez, bringing this to the courtroom is he never bring this up again in the rest of the court case. That was just day one.
Yeah.
He drops that bombshell, shakes the room up, and never touches it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Never comes back to it or elaborates? I mean, well, that's probably because he knew it would fall apart. Like if he, under any scrutiny, you'd be able to pick that apart and be like, well, this is, well, again, presumably not true that he did that. So he just is like, well, misdirect. Let's go to the next thing.
Yeah. But he starts breaking down the rest of the argument rather quickly. So the first thing he does is he starts talking about the chloroform. remember how I said that they pulled an air sample from the trunk?
Mhm.
So they're saying that when they pulled and the technology they used to basically say like what's in the air, apparently the technology that was used was never or has never been used in a court of law.
Okay.
This was the first time. So he was saying like, I don't know how reputable this
Right.
system is.
Can you trust that evidence?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
On top of that, he brings the guy who invented the machine and is using it. The guy apparently is not a doctor or chemist. I think he's like a doctor in like what was it like? I think he was a doctor in.
I'm just a guy that likes smells.
No, I think he was he had a doctor in archaeology, so it kind of was in his.
So
field.
he's a doctor, but like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so like that exactly. So all the jurors now is like, hang on, so you're not even a fucking chemist? You're just some guy who like this is your hobby, I guess? And he was like, yeah, well, technically.
Just a big nose guy.
You should
I
see
really
what's in
am
my
thinking
farts.
Of like a Dr. Farnsworth kind of style, invention where it's just like a big cartoon nose. And it's like, it's like bing, chloroform. Okay.
Come on. I like that a lot.
They go through in the evidence, they go through where Kaylee was, like where her cell phone was pinged. They go through their computer at the time and like look up all their searches. One of the searches was for chloroform. And like another search was foolproof chloroform.
How to murder my child.
Daughter won't
But they
stop.
only checked one search engine, right?
They only checked the one computer in the house, but the computer had different login names for one Cindy, one George, one Casey, and it was logged in under Casey.
Yeah.
And Casey says she didn't do it. George says he didn't do it. Cindy says she did it because she says she did it as a typo looking for chlorophyll because she was starting a garden.
Foolproof chlorophyll.
How to murder my child with chlorophyll.
Damn autocorrect.
Chlorophyll? More like borophyll.
just a juror brewing everything.
I was really hoping that Billy Madison was in this courtroom.
Time to chlorophyll up that garden.
They bring in other scientists, other doctors to overlook and go through everything again. One doctor on trial testified saying that whoever did the autopsy did a horrific like job.
Yeah.
They bring up Crunk
Right.
to the stand and ask him basically how he found the body and everything. And apparently he wanted to make sure that it was a skull, so he took a stick
And I
pick
poked it.
it. He poked it and picked it up enough to like, prove that
Yeah.
it was a skull. And the defense starts saying like, how can we trust how the body was found if Crunk is walking all over the site and he's poking bones and whatnot? And so they almost disqualified Crunk and the whole system.
So
and
what
the
am I
bag.
even doing here?
There are mates to meet her.
I was reading the meter, and then I found a skull. Wanted to make sure it was a skull, so I called you guys. That's why I'm here.
They further say that the autopsy and saying that Kaylee's death being a homicide as essentially ludicrous. And they're saying that because the duct tape was just found doesn't mean it was found on her mouth. Because it was not, apparently the duct tape, they later say that the duct tape was not on the mouth. They just believed it was on the mouth because the jaw was connected
Was still
to the
intact.
skull.
Yeah.
And so the defense proves like, well, we don't really know more about the duct tape other than it just being there. So we can't say the duct tape was on the mouth. So then they're further ruling out that it was not a homicide. Like, yeah, you could say neglect or
Yeah.
like something else happened or like, someone obviously dumped the body, but now we're ruling out homicide altogether, which going back to what Joseph said is a big problem because they're going for the death penalty. So you have to prove past a reasonable doubt that she killed Kaylee.
Right.
The defense also throws another curveball on June 30th and calling upon a volunteer that was searching for Kaylee. Her name was Crystal Holloway. Crystal says that she was having an affair with George during this entire time.
Okay.
And again, they met during the search for
Oh.
Kaylee.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's saying they had an affair.
Nothing makes me hornier than looking for my missing granddaughter.
Oh, you know what would really help me out right now? Just a little slice of puss.
Little slice.
and not my wife's.
Some strange would help me
I'm
with this
trying to get in
grief.
his head,
Right.
okay? That's what he would say.
Yeah, George is our wild card here. Jesus Christ, man.
So things are not going good for George right now. So things aren't going good for old Georgie. It's not proven. He's accused of basically child molestation / incest. He's also being accused of an affair during this whole situation. But Crystal Holloway.
How'd you guys make this about me?
Well, I was gonna say, didn't he like kind of like move out of the house for a little while?
Yes.
And then-
So like I said, he got caught in another affair
Right.
while Kaylee was born. And basically like got kicked out of the house and then eventually came back into good graces with his wife and then moved back in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But Holloway says that they had been, spending a lot of time together, and he had confessed that this entire situation was a snowballed reaction of. It was just an accident that snowballed out of control. He says that that's what this whole situation is. So he hints at the fact that like he knew that Kaylee was dead and helped dispose of her body. And this was all because he didn't want Casey to get charged with child neglect.
Right.
And to face a murder.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
There's the case right there, right?
Yeah, seriously.
At any point, did the prosecution go,
Yes.
Essentially, George goes back to testify saying, nuh-uh. No, that's not me. And he denies the affair with Holloway and said he only visited her because she was ill. Yeah.
I only
in
visited,
bed?
I only visited this random lady.
Judge Perry told jurors that it could be used to impeach George's credibility, but that it was not proof of how Kaylee died, nor evidence of Casey's guilt or innocence.
Sure. That's true.
Okay.
So basically, it was just like, we're not going to play this game of he said, she said.
Yeah.
We're just going to say, like, you heard that, and that's all that happened.
Yeah, we're keeping this train on track. Or trying to.
Trying to do their best. But again, everyone's freaking out. Everyone looking in thinks this is an open shut case. Now no one knows who's lying and who's telling the truth. And that's where we're going to end on part one of the curious case of Casey Anthony.
Ooh.
Be looking out for part 2, y'all.
Which is good because I definitely want to get into more of this court stuff.
Yeah.
Because this is where it's getting lost.
I was
Or
gonna say-
won or lost is it right here in the court.
Like, if it wasn't Looney Tunes already, I feel like it's about to get real Looney Tunes.
Dude, it's going to get it. It's not only what happens in the trial, but everything afterwards.
Yeah.
So there is so much and so many updates of the family, of friends, of jurors, of prosecutors, detectives, all doing interviews, talking about this case. And it's still kind of lingering in the air to this day. So much so that there's a documentary that just came out last year in 2024 covering this whole thing again from top to bottom.
Sure.
Yeah. Casey Anthony really is like the O.J. Simpson of white women.
Yes, yes. It's funny you say that because like told my sister I was covering the Casey Anthony case, and my sister's response was, "They only let her off because she's a white woman."
I'm sure it didn't hurt.
This was before I did any research about this. My sister is definitely in the camp of like, nah, that white bitch did it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I guess don't be afraid to follow us on any social media.
That's
It's
true.
_USA.
That's right.
Email us if you have any ideas. Maybe on this court case. Maybe you have a genius hunch like I do. Email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com.
Follow us on our Patreon. You know, hit up Corsair. Tell them Murder Schmurder sent you.
That's right.
Check out our all of our other socials where we've got fun animated videos. We've got all kinds of like little goodies, behind the scenes stuff, fun, silly things.
And if you guys are looking for maybe a couple new T-shirts or some hats, we've got merch on our Instagram page. What else we got? We got hats. We got shirts.
We got hats. We got shirts.
There's nothing we don't have.
A little live show scheduled to come out.
Right. We got
That's right. We got
Oh,
more live
yeah,
shows
we
coming
do.
down the pipe. We're hoping to get at least, maybe like 3 or 4 out this year. You know, do some
Yeah,
stuff.
if you want to see the full video of our live stream, we are going to post it on our socials, on our YouTube. We're going to be boosting that. And then we'll see it on our Patreon because we need money here at Murder Schmurder.
Costs a lot to keep y'all entertained, and we're happy to do it. But we need a little. We're scratching your back. How about a little back scratch on our side?
That's right.
You think these chips that we're trying on Sucks or Fucks are free? No, they're not.
No, they're actually $3.
And we can barely afford that. So we need you to subscribe to our Patreon. I can't remember the last time I had any free money, to be honest.
Freedom isn't free, baby.
In this economy?
It's a hefty fucking thing. Alrighty, y'all. Well,
Hey,
we'll
guys.
catch you next time for part 2.
Thanks for
bye.
joining us. Bye.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of